FatCon is a 3-day fat liberation celebration, y'all. We will be celebrating fat liberation, body acceptance, and the power of being in fat community. With over 60 hours of programming spanning from policy, legislation, healthcare, community, and visual arts, plus a ton more, this is sure to be something you don't want to miss. The vibes are going to be immaculate. With a fat brunch, a fat fashion show, and a fat vendor marketplace, there is so much to do. Plus, there's some really cool experiences you can sign up for, like some fat liberation photo shoots and some incredible shopping experiences with 2 big blogs. Being in fat community with other fat people who just accept you for who you are and get it is such a great experience, and I want every single person watching this to be able to have that experience with us.
Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I would love it if you would help me to grow this channel and hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, welcome back. I truly do appreciate your continued support on my channel, and I hope that you are subscribed as well. So there seems to be this thing going on in today's society where we have completely abandoned reality. We feel like if we just change our language and how we address things and we start throwing around words like body positivity and normalize, that all of these things are just going to eliminate reality, and it's going to signal to our minds and our brains to not react negatively when we make poor choices, and it's going to allow us to do whatever the heck we want and not face any kind of negative outcome. For example, if we're eating like 5 times more calories than our body can burn in a day and we put on hundreds of extra pounds, where that might normally cause us to develop life-threatening conditions like diabetes, heart disease, heart failure, cancer, or even cause premature death, if we just say the right words, those things are just not going to happen. It's almost like, until now, people weren't developing diabetes and heart disease because they were eating too much saturated fat or processed foods, but actually because their own body was fat shaming them, and they just needed to say the right words to get their body to be more inclusive and just stop reacting that way. And you might be picking up a little bit on my sarcasm right now, but at this point, I don't really know how to address these things because we have gone so far off the deep end that now, we're not just having conversations about being kinder to people, into not judging people and recognizing that there are all shapes and sizes of people and we need to be kind and offer people grace, to this idea where we just need to celebrate the things that are causing us the most harm and even causing probably our own death. And here I bring you FatCon. From what I understand, this is the first of its kind. Whether or not it's going to be an annual event, I have no idea. I guess it really just depends if these people survive until the next one.
Yeah, wait a minute. That's too far, maybe? No, they dig it. Yes!
But of course, talking about that makes me discriminatory and hateful, so instead of being allowed to acknowledge the reality of what it means to be obese and the strain that puts on your body and all of the countless number of things, the countless ways that can harm you physically and mentally, now we're holding entire conventions where people can come around and encourage people to stay in this kind of lifestyle, to keep going with these bad habits, and to embrace each other in their own destruction. And I understand that when you are struggling with something, it can be really important. In fact, it is really important to have a community of people around you that understand what it is that you're going through and what you're dealing with and what you're facing. And you tend to be more responsive to people that can sympathize and empathize with you in that struggle.
I can't stop eating. I eat because I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy because I eat.
But events like these are not meant to bring a community of people together that are facing the same struggle so that they can help each other out of it. These events are bringing people together to continue to encourage each other to keep living their lives this way. And it's encouraging this mindset that we seem to have today where we can't take personal responsibility, where we can't acknowledge our own accountability in the struggles that we are facing. Because so many of the things that we are struggling with today are self-inflicted. So let's have a look at what this event looks like and what some of the attendees have said about it. I just wanted to go back and see what that sign said. It says hashtag size freedom, the fight to outlaw weight discrimination. And I'm glad that these people are having fun. Everybody needs to make friends. Everybody deserves to be happy. I'm glad that they're having a good time. But what are they going to do in the years to come, as this is probably going to be an annual event, when all of the friends that they made last year are not there because they either can't make it, they have too many health issues, or they are no longer with us? Is that going to be as a result of weight discrimination? So let's hear what this gal has to say.
Good evening, Fatterflies and Buttercups. My name is Irene. My pronouns are they, she. And I've made it to Seattle. I had several extra tickets to Fatlesk Pacific Northwest, and those have all been given away, which is amazing because that means I get to meet a new group of fantastic fatties that I am always so happy to meet new people because my goal is building community.
If you're somebody who likes to set goals, maybe set a goal to be a little bit healthier and encourage this new community of people with you to set goals together to be healthier. Instead of calling people fatterflies and encouraging all of the people around you to continue in this destructive behavior and these harmful habits. People tend to have a lot more success in their health goals if they have friends around them to push them, to be accountable to, and to set goals with. Just an idea. And here's one more.
I have done all of the things, read all of the things. I have advocated for fat liberation. I have fought with trolls. I have done all of these things.
Except set goals to be healthier. And we keep hearing this phrase, fat liberation. I don't know exactly what that means, but usually when you're liberating yourself from something, you are freeing yourself. You're getting out from under the thing that is holding you back or weighing you down or keeping you from living your best life. And nothing holds you down more and holds you back more than excess weight that your body cannot handle. And it seems like she thinks that online trolls are a bigger problem than her eating habits, which again, I think speaks to this poisonous mindset that has just spread across society, where if we just ignore reality and cover it up with all of these pretty words and phrases, then we don't actually have to acknowledge the bad things that are going to happen. And we can ignore all of the harm that we are causing to ourselves. And before I go on, I have a question. Would we accept this if this was a convention of people that were anorexic and they showed up with And I don't say that to be funny, but how is that any different than this?
Little puzzle pieces to fat liberation. And it was this powerful feeling of everything, all of those little puzzle pieces clicking into place to create the whole picture that I didn't even know I didn't see.
This just shows how much people think that if they just say a bunch of words, they truly think that they are being inspirational and that they're making sense, when honestly, it's just a bunch of words that mean absolutely nothing, and you're really just doing it to make yourself feel better.
It was such a powerful experience. Not having community is so detrimental to our mental health, which, as you and I know, means it's also detrimental to our physical health.
Right.
And I'm like,
no, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, I think that's normal.
And I'm not dismissing her emotion here, because I'm sure that when you are this overweight, that you truly feel like people are constantly judging you, that you truly feel like, that you have people looking at you, looking down on you and discriminating against you and all of these things. And I'm sure that there are people that are really unkind to you. So I'm sure that it is a huge relief to be around people that are just loving and kind and that truly understand. So I do believe that her emotions are real here.
That we've struggled so hard for our lives to just exist. And then to be in a space where people are celebrating and loving and communicating community, right? Like,
and this is an argument that we hear a lot, particularly from people who endorse destructive behavior, where people seem to think that we can do whatever we want to our bodies and it's not going to matter, that we're not going to have to, face the consequences of our choices or this self-inflicted harm. Don't even get me started on these reproductive anatomy mutilating surgeries. But they're saying that anybody who speaks against it, anybody who disagrees with you, or anybody who tries to point out the things that are coming your way as a result of your choices are just saying that they don't want you to exist, which is completely and totally inaccurate. In fact, the opposite is true. We want you to live a long and happy, healthy life. We want you to not rely on doctor's appointments and medications and the medical system in general just to exist, just to live your life, when it is totally and completely preventable.
that, like, I really believe that, like what you said, like something transpired for you, something shifted for you. The more that we are around community and people that like actually get it and are celebrating us, the more that transformation can happen.
Again, I'm all about community. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But the problem with this community is that it is intentionally created to encourage people in this lifestyle. You're not bringing people together with the goal of improving. You're bringing people together so that they can just feel better about the choices that they're making, about the way they're living their lives. And you're causing this unimaginable damage and harm to them by not encouraging them or not telling them or pushing them in the direction of actually trying to solve the problem. These people think that, that love and tolerance and all of those other things are what their problem has been, and that if they just find people that are going to give them hugs and say pretty things to them, that's going to solve their problems. And this is just so incredibly dangerous. Earlier today, I was watching a documentary called Eating Ourselves to Death, and it's about the obesity problem in the UK. And in that documentary, you don't have anybody celebrating their weight. You don't have anybody celebrating the stage of life that they're in and the struggles that they are facing, or looking for friends to cheer them on in the way that they're living their lives. They recognize the impact of what is happening to their body. There was one mom who had twins a couple of years ago, and they are not very old, but she's constantly having conversations with her husband about the fact that she's probably not going to live long enough to see them grow into adults or to watch them get married or pursue their lives and their careers and whatnot. And she's always having conversations with her husband about when he gets remarried, because she understands that on this path, there is a very high likelihood of her life ending long before it would have otherwise. There's another guy on it that talks about all this damage that has been done to his body, and he is trying to pursue getting the kind of surgeries that can, curb your appetite and whatnot. But even to qualify to do those, he has to lose some weight, because operating on somebody with that much weight on their body can be a really high risk. There's a really good chance that they're going to die before the procedure's even over. And that reality has absolutely nothing to do with his body acceptance or his confidence level or how many friends he has that cheer him on and look like him. He also talked about all of the medications that he's on, and that at this point, even if he does correct the problem, some of the damage that has been done is irreversible, and there are medications that he is going to have to take for the rest of his life. So again, I'm glad all of these people are having a really good time, and that they found friends, and that they've found happiness and joy, even, whatever it is that they're doing. I'm glad that they're happy. But at the end of the day, your body is not going to care about how you feel. It's not going to care about the fact that you have found a community of people that relate to you and that accept you. It's not going to care that you attended a fashion show that catered all of these items to your size. Absolutely none of that is going to play a role in how your body reacts to having so much excess weight. And the goal of pointing all of this out is not to make anybody feel bad, but to help you stay grounded in reality, because when you are grounded in reality, then you know how to solve the problem. Yes, feel good about yourself, have confidence in yourself, be happy with who you are, but also understand that diabetes and premature death and organ failure and heart disease don't pick and choose based on how much body positivity you have. I mean, earlier I talked about people that are anorexic and struggle with their weight in that aspect. Would we accept a convention like this if it was geared towards alcoholics and we said that you don't actually need to address the problem, and anybody that tells you that you do is actually a hater? What you really need is a community of people who all have a problem with alcohol, and you can drink yourself to death together. Because that's essentially what we're saying here. And I do have to wonder if there is going to be a convention at some point with a bunch of people that have had these gender-affirming surgeries where they compare their scars and congratulate each other on having their reproductive organs all removed and none of them can procreate, and all of them are going to be permanent medical patients for the rest of their lives. But as long as we can celebrate, right? But this is just what happens when we have a society that just wants us to normalize the most destructive behaviors because it's easier than actually doing the work to be better. It goes from acceptance to not being able to allow to point out the facts, to calling people haters if they do point out the facts, to self-celebration, to expecting all of society to celebrate the destruction with you. And now we're just going to create entire conventions to reinforce behaviors that are going to lead to people's actual demise. Eventually, these FatCon events are going to have to move from a pretty venue to a hospital because that's where all of these people are headed.
Wait a minute, that's too far maybe?
I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below, even if you want to call me a big meanie. Again, please hit that subscribe button and help me to grow this channel. I have a goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers before my birthday, which is just in a couple of months, so I'd appreciate your help in doing that. And if you enjoy the commentary that I offer, which is basically just to talk about all of the things that have become normalized and are creating the dumpster fire known as the society that we are living in today, check out some of my other videos. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.